My name is Mark Atkinson. I'm going to more or less facilitate this or just give our guest, Joe Delk, some softball questions to have him tell his story of why he started a solo law firm in Western North Carolina. So the official title of this session is Why You Should Consider Opening a Law Firm in a Small Town.
Why you should open a small town is lifestyle work balance. It is a lot easier to find that balance in a small town. And I can obviously go into a lot more detail about that, but that is essentially what it comes down to, is that you can find a much happier work existence in a small town than I think you can find in a bigger city. So I decided to move down the street and set up a small office of my own. That's when, and we'll get into this, but that's when I started having a lot of fun, kind of set up my own LLC. I established my own logo, and I got into the marketing of it. And once I was on my own and by myself and not relying on somebody else, that's when I had a lot of fun, because, everything became, my doing. And, I was kind of half entrepreneur, half lawyer. And that's when I started really enjoying the practice of law, when you feel like you have control over everything. Things called legal deserts. And I think the ABA has come out and said that for a county to be well represented legally, you need about 1,000 to 1. So for every 1,000 residents, you need a lawyer. In our county, we are at about 4,000 to 1. So we are definitely considered a legal desert. And it's the same across North Carolina. You've got the big cities, you've got plenty of lawyers. In smaller towns, you don't have a lot of lawyers. Kind of counter to, or in companionship to that is the bigger cities have public defender's offices for criminal work, for indigent work. In smaller towns like Lenoir and most other smaller towns across North Carolina, the state contracts with local attorneys. And most of the attorneys here at least have part of their practice supported by that. So it's a lower hourly rate, but it's kind of guaranteed work, is that the state appoints you clients and you do the work and then you turn in the fee. And right now for misdemeanors, it's $65 an hour. And the advantage to young lawyers or disgruntled lawyers at bigger firms is that if you want the work, it's there. You're not going to be scraping by hoping, to get the morsels off the table. You will be overwhelmed with work if you come in and just open your practice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, what I've heard you say is, I've heard you use the word fun several times, that it's been fun. I've heard you say that you've got a work-life balance. I've heard you say that it's a collegial environment with the other attorneys of supporting one another. I've heard you say that there's a need. There are not enough attorneys for all the demand, that you'd have case files on your desk within the first week of work that needed to be done. I've heard you say it's an opportunity to be involved in the community and to give back to the community. There's just a lot of positives there.
And I will put this out there, and I hope I don't get overwhelmed. If you are interested in coming to a small town like Lenoir, you are more than welcome to work off my conference table until you kind of get established. Like I said, you need a laptop and probably a printer. I know you said that, the paperless, and you can probably go that way, but the reality is in North Carolina courts, you still need a printer for some things. We're not at e-courts yet, but the a laptop or printer and a cell phone, and you can start your practice. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions and be that mentor if you want to come somewhere like Caldwell County. But I think any county you go to, if you just call the local bar president and say, I'm interested in coming to your county, they will bring you in, they will wine you and dine you and beg you to establish your practice. And you get to meet all the attorneys, and they will jump at the opportunity to convince you to come there and be your mentor.